Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to set up recurring and scheduled transactions. Now, a recurring transaction is nothing more than a transaction that you would use often, like a mortgage or rent payment or a car payment, things like that. You can choose to automatically schedule these recurring transactions if you choose, but you don't have to. To begin, let's create a transaction that's not scheduled. It's just a recurring transaction. So to do that, you would go to the Recurring tab here, and you would press the plus button to get the recurring transaction started. Now the first thing you want to do is set up the transaction itself. You would do that by tapping here. And to configure the transaction, we just type in the information that we want. Let's say it's a deposit of $2,000, and let's say this is our paycheck. And you could specify category and memo information as well, but you don't have to. We'll go ahead and save that. Now, by default, a new recurring transaction will be not scheduled. So you see that the not scheduled option is checked here. You can also, if we decided later, we could choose to schedule it weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. And there's also an option to specify the checkbook that we want to schedule it to. That's only necessary, again, if the transaction is scheduled. So let's go ahead and save this. And now you'll see that that transaction shows up in the list of recurring transactions. Now we can use that recurring transaction the next time we add a transaction to our checkbooks. If we go back over to the register, let me go into this test account here, and let me create a new transaction. Instead of typing all that information in again, I can just create one from recurring, and that's that little button up here in the top right corner. And it'll give you a list of your recurring transactions. You just press the one you want, and all the fields are pre-populated for you. Then all you have to do is hit save, and that transaction is entered in your register. Now, we had to do that manually. If you have an expense that comes in every week or every month or bi-weekly, you can choose to schedule that automatically, and I'll show you how to do that now. So let's go ahead and create another recurring transaction. This time I'm going to specify $50 here, and let's call this my scheduled transaction, and we'll just save that. Now this time I'm going to schedule it, and let's say today is Saturday, so I'm going to schedule it for every Saturday for every week. Now we specified that here, and you can see that the weekly item is checked and that it says SAT for Saturday. And the only other thing we have to do is configure the checkbook that we want to schedule it to. In this case, I'm going to select my test checkbook and go ahead and hit save. And now that item will show up, and it'll also tell you how it is scheduled underneath the title. It's probably too difficult to see in this video, but underneath my scheduled transaction, it says scheduled weekly to test checkbook. So now if we go to our register, you'll see that that item is not currently in the list, but the next time we start checkbook, it will automatically appear. And you can see it right there, my scheduled transaction for -$50. Now, it's smart enough to know that it has already scheduled that transaction, so the next time we start up, it won't add it again. The next time it'll add it is a week from today. So that's how you set up recurring and scheduled transactions.